Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas with this inspirational morning talk. For first-time listeners, I'm on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8:45 a.m. Central Time. That's our time here in Texas. You can calculate what time zone you're in. But I just try to give you something a little inspirational to start off your day, something you can, spice your day up, something you to think about for that day. That's my goal, right? So I hope everyone is having a great day today. I hope you got nice weather wherever you are, and because we got some great weather here. It's kind of cool it down a little bit. We're getting the rain that we've been having for the last few months, so they're kind of cooling things down nicely. So today what I want to talk about, man, it's a very important topic. It's a very important topic I want to touch on today. It's to take control of your mind. I would say take control of your life by controlling what you listen to, right? You can take control of your life by simply taking control of what you are listening to, right? So what we mean by that, whatever you listen to, right, is going to shape your life. As I heard on this guy, Earl Nightingale said, we become what we think about, right? We become what we think about. Good morning, Cuz. Good morning, Tessa. How are you doing today? He said, we become what we think about. And what we're thinking about, what we're listening to is going to influence what we think about. So we could take control of our life by controlling what we listen to, right? So let's look at Luke 8:18 in here. We'll see what it says here. Luke 8:18. It says, so pay attention to how you hear. To those who listen to my teaching, more understanding will be given. To those who listen to my teaching, more understanding will be given. But for those who are not listening, even what they think they understand will be taken away from them. Right? So he's saying, so pay attention to how you hear or what you're listening to. He said, to those who listen, this is Jesus saying, to those who listen to my teaching, more understanding will be given. But for those who are not listening, even what they think they understand will be taken away. My explanation in a nutshell with this, even what they think they understand will be taken away. Because what you listen is not downloaded into the hard drive. I'm going to explain that. That's not downloaded into the hard drive. But if you consistently listening to his teaching, you get understanding, become a part of you. It downloaded into your hard drive or gone into the subconscious. And when it's get down in there, it's hard to get out. No one can change your mind. But if you think you understand this stuff, I got it. That's why people could come with all different type of teaching and change your mind and just erase what you think you know. It's easy for confuse you because it's not downloaded into the hard drive. It's not in the subconscious. So even what you think you know could easily be taken away from you. Easily somebody could always come with something else and get you to, believe that, right? And this is the reason why Jesus was so mad with those Pharisees and those teachers back in the day, why he was so hard on them, because he know if y'all preaching, y'all changing up this gospel and teaching people y'all own thing, y'all destroying their lives. You are destroying their lives. You are destroying their lives if you give them a different teaching, if you get them hearing different things, right? So right now, the church community is in uproar. Over Beyonce's latest album. Because, she's an influential figure for the young people to like her and listen to her music. But the last album was not the type of work that she normally do. Right? It's not. It's a the lyrics are very raunchy. It is not becoming so. Church people now is in uproar. And especially she titled one of the songs Church Girl, right? Church Girl. And it's saying, church girl, it's okay. You could come to the club Saturday, do all what you want to do. And it's okay. You don't hurt nobody. She ain't mean no harm. Then you could go to church and do your thing. And so the same, man, these lyrics here, you should keep your kids away from them. Gotta just trying to Is this laws here what they're trying to protect the kids from? Because what you're listening to consistently, that's how you gonna influence your life. So let's look at some other scriptures and we discuss some more. Here is Psalms 1. Psalms 1. I'm gonna read from verse 1 to verse 3. Psalms 1 from verse 1 to verse 3, right? It said, oh, the joys of those who do not. Take attention. Oh, the joys of those who do not follow the advice of the wicked. What you're listening to, you're not following the advice of the wicked. Or stand around with sinners, because if you stand around with the sinners, you're going to hear and seeing and start doing what they're doing. Or join in with mockers. He said the joys of those who do not do these things. They're not listening to the advice of the wicked. They're not standing around with sinners, or they're not joining with mockers. But they delight in the law of the Lord, meditating on it day and night. So he's saying you want to meditate on the word. That's why he's saying meditate on the word day and night, because that's, you could influence your life. If you meditating on that day and night, you repeating, the repetition is a powerful thing. That's why we study. That's why we do all this stuff. We want to learn. We go it over and over. The athletes got to train so hard, hours and hours of training, because they're trying to get better at what they're doing. They're trying to make all this stuff come naturally to them, right? So you see, if you meditate on the law day and night, here was the results. If you do not follow the advice of the wicked, you don't stand around with the sinners, and you're not joining with the mockers, but you meditated on his word day and night, here was the results of that. He said those people are like trees planted along the riverbank, bearing fruit in every season. Bearing fruit in every season. Their leaves never withered, and they prosper in all they do. That's not all of us after. That's not what all of us are after. Bearing fruit in every season. See, if the economy up or down or around, doesn't matter how the economy are, you're going to bear fruit. It doesn't matter what's going on. He said, you going to bear fruit, and you're going to prosper in all that you do. If you do not follow the advice of the wicked, if you're not just controlling what you're listening to, in a nutshell, we say. You meditate on the word, control what you're listening to, meditate on the word day and night, and there can be results. And I think that's what everybody's seeking, right? All of us seeking to prosper in the things that we do and bear fruit in every season. Your leaves can never wither. Okay, he's saying you're like a tree right by the riverbank. You're always being watered. So even if a drought comes, you still getting some water. Economy bad, you still gonna be okay. You still getting water. You're still being fed. Your leaves can never wither. But it's because you're controlling what you're listening to, what you're putting in there, right? Because the battle, guys, you can hear this all the time. The battle is for your soul. The battle is for our soul. You hear talking about Jesus saying you want to win souls for the kingdom, and the devil trying to win souls for his kingdom. It's this soul and the soul and the soul. Because the soul is made up of three main parts. The soul is made up of, right? The mind, and the mind is the center of the soul. The mind is the part that will control your thinking, right? Will control your thinking. What you're going to be thinking, that's the mind, right? Your will can be the decision-making part. The decision-making, we're going to make the decisions, what you're going to do, what you're thinking, now going to influence the decisions you make, right? And then the emotions, there's the feelings part, stuff making you feel good. There's all the drugs and all that to get you hooked with that, right? It make you feel good. The sexual sins, it make you feel good, right? And you do them stuff enough, you get hooked on it, right? And that's what the battle is for. The mind, the soul is going to control the spirit, what the spirit does, and deposit into the spirit and the body. But the soul, because your body could be win over easily, right? You're going to church. Your body got win over. You repent, you give your life, you can be saved, but doesn't mean you're going to do the right thing. Because your soul is the hardest part to win over. That's why Jesus said you got to win souls for the kingdom. He didn't say win bodies or win spirits. Because he said the soul is the main part. And that's what the enemy after. And the enemy is going to use the media. He's going to use media to get us, because he know the repetition. Once you keep repeating, remember you got the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, right? The conscious mind is what going to do the thinking and decide what you listen to and all of the what you do, right? The subconscious mind, he don't reason or think. The subconscious, Jeremy Wilkinson, good morning, sir. The subconscious mind, no reason or think. Whatever you put in there and you repeat it enough, he's going to hold it. That is truth. He's going to record it and he's going to keep it there. He don't reason or think. So if you, as our Nightingale, they're listening to his stuff, and he's saying, the mind is like a fertile soil. The subconscious is a fertile soil. It do not care what you plant. It do not care what you plant in it. But what it's going to do, it's going to return to you a bountiful crop. It's going to return a bountiful crop. It do not care if it's poison you plant or the most expensive fruit. You control what you plant, but you don't control the harvest. But it's going to return a bountiful harvest, either poison or a good plant. It's going to return to you a bountiful harvest. That's why God is telling us all this stuff of what we're hearing, right? What we're hearing is important. So let's go on Romans 10:17 and see what it said. It says, so then, faith comes by what? What faith comes from? We all want to have more faith. And where it comes from? By hearing. And not by hearing anything. You went on. You can't stop there. Faith comes by hearing. Yes. But hearing what? By hearing by the word of God. Again, controlling what we are listening to. We all want to be producing every season. He said meditate on the word day and night. Michael McKinnon, good morning. Right? He said meditate on the word day. And oh joys who come to the for the people who do not follow the advice of the wicked, stand around with sinners or join with mockers, but delight in the law and meditate on the word day and night. They can produce fruit in every season. They can be like all the good stuff, right? And again, he said you want faith. Everybody going after faith. How it comes? Simply by hearing. Not by hearing anything. By hearing the word of God. So this tells me if faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of God, if you are listening to erroneous things or things that are not good for you, that's what you're going to put your faith in. Right? That's where is your faith is going to be, because faith in Jesus Christ, faith in God comes by hearing his word. But if you hearing consistently another word, that's where you're putting your faith in. Right? Let's see Proverbs 23:7. Proverbs 23:7 for as a man thinketh in his heart. For a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Because what this stuff done, when you deposit stuff, when your conscious mind taking something, you remember the conscious mind, you thinking, you making the decision of what you're going to be listening to. Okay, this is what I'm going to listen to. You're listening to all the different music or looking at television program and all of these stuff that is of the, it's not of God, right? You're looking at all these things. Now it come down into subconscious. The subconscious, he don't reason or think. He take it, this is true. I got to record this. This is how this is what we doing. Right? He can return the bountiful harvest to you. He can be very faithful to you. You put it in there, he can return it to you. He can, so good. And all the now get deposited into your heart. All that stuff now get deposited into your heart when it's get down into your subconscious. So now, what is Proverbs 23:7 is saying? For a man thinketh in his heart. Because all what you putting in can get deposited into your heart. For a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. right? And the next thing is saying we become what we think about. We become what we think about. And who controls your heart controls you. Whoever controls your heart controls you. That's why when people in love, they're going to do some stuff that they would normally do because that person controls their heart. And to you, you're going to be like, are you crazy? This is what you're going to do? Why this person tell you do this and you're going to do it? Because that person controls their heart. And whoever controls your heart controls you. That's what God's saying. Listen to my word. Let me control your heart and you can't go wrong. Fall in love with my word just so you fall in love with a person. Let me control your heart. Let me control your thinking. Let my word control your thinking and you can't go wrong. You're going to be like the tree that planted by the riverbank, bearing fruit in every season, where the leaves never withered and they prosper in all they do. Right? And that's why Proverbs 4:23 said, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. That's the NLT translation. It said, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. How are you going to guard your heart? By simply controlling what you are taking in. What you are taking in. Because what you're taking in eventually going to get deposited into your heart, right? Remember, the soul will get deposited into there. The soul is your mind, made up of your mind, your will, emotions, right? So that's why it's so hard to break habits. That's why the people on the drugs and stuff, it's so hard for them to break a habit, because that stuff now is in the subconscious. And when something gets into your subconscious, it's all over. It's all over. Once it gets done, that's why repetition. That's why sometimes you say a man believe his own lie. He tell the lie so much that he of himself believes it, because that gets repeated so much a time. So the subconscious says, okay, I got to record this stuff. And once the subconscious record it, it's recorded as its truth. It don't reason or think. You keep saying it all the time, the subconscious believe it. Oh, this is what we need to do. And the man going to start to believe his own lie. Because he said so much, the repetition. Just like when you're reading, we're looking at over and over, it gets deposited in the subconscious. And to break those habits now is hard. It's like a computer. When you download on the hard drive, that's your hard drive. Your subconscious is your hard drive. Once it gets downloaded there, it's there, right? You would use your computer for 10 years. But you could go and find the program that you downloaded in your hard drive once it wasn't damaged, right? You could go back and pull the program up that you download on your hard drive. So that's why it's dangerous. When we take in certain things, it's in there. You just got to press the right buttons and it come right back. That's why the people who they can try to stay away from the drugs or what habits they have. But as soon as it presented in front of them, the opportunity, guess what? The right buttons push and you could pull right back the program, come right back up. So to erase the hard drive, what you got to do, who know about computers, right? You either got to get the special software to erase that stuff or you got to replace it with something. So that's why lots of time in therapy for people who are hooked up, people got some habits, you got to replace the habit with a good habit, the bad habit with a good habit. That's like you're cleaning the hard drive, right? You're cleaning the hard drive. You got to replace the habit with a good habit. Every time you get the feelings to do the thing there that is bad, the therapist or whatever can give you something to replace it with. Oh, you feel like taking a smoke and you're trying to come off. I'm just using an example. I don't know. This is not what I know for sure. You might say, okay, if you feel you want to smoke, go and take a jog or eat a fruit, or some people can say, whatever it is. But what the goal is to replace the bad habit with something good. That's how you got to. When stuff get deposited into your hard drive. That's why it's very important what you're listening to, what you're looking at. Because when you look at these kids' movies of today, and that's the stuff that's getting me. Every movie now, even the kids' movie, it can got these witchcraft stuff in it. Harry Potter is a good witch and a good wizard. You look up the word witch and wizard, there's nothing good about it. They ain't got no good spell and bad spells. Once you're talking about a witch, once you're talking about a wizard, it is witchcraft. But they're telling the kids, oh, it's a good witch and it's a good wizard. So guess what happens now? The danger in that. They're neutralizing this stuff. So when a kid grow up now and someone presents something to them and say, hey, how would you like to get those powers like Harry Potter? It's a good witch. You can become a good wizard like Harry Potter and use your powers for good. The kid is like, okay, I like Harry Potter, no problem. And they get into something that they don't even know that they're trying themselves. That's the power of the media. Subtly, they got you listening to these things, and the recording is going to keep playing if you don't turn it on or not. You ever be driving to work or all of a sudden you humming certain songs? Because you might be driving to work or you doing something around the house, but this song is playing. You're not paying attention to it, you know. You're not really paying attention to the song because you're so busy doing whatever you're doing. But the next day or 2 days after, you find yourself humming this song. No. You're humming the song because it get in there. So that's why God's saying, be careful. If you spend that much attention on my word, you're going to be good. You're going to be safe. So guys, I could go on and on. This is a passionate thing for me. Because I wish some of the stuff I deposited into my hard drive early in life, I didn't. I wish I had taken these stuff much more seriously in my early life. So I wouldn't have to clear out a lot of stuff off of my hard drive. No, I'd have done got the right thing in there. So that's why I'm trying to make a push right now to keep putting the right thing. And doing these teachings and all that has helped me keep putting the right thing and depositing the right thing into my hard drive. All right, guys? So let's be very careful with your kids. Help try them. You can't stop them from everything. But at least getting the word into them daily or however, make sure to listen to something positive. That's why I like to do this early in the mornings. So if people listen to it, at least they got something positive to carry them through the day. Because normally the first thing you hear for the day is stay on your mind a little bit. And that's my goal, just to help your thinking throughout the day, stay on something positive. All right, guys? And the little you keep hearing it, it's going to add up. 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 And all of a sudden, you start thinking a certain thing, right? So, guys, I'm going to leave that there, man. I can leave that there, but just be careful what we're listening to. I know we heard this before, but it's so serious. And that's why God said, meditate on my word day and night. Meditate on my word day and night. Let me see if I had anything here that I want to pass through. All right. I can leave it there. So we talk again on Friday. Goodbye.